Welcome, welcome. We are back for another week. How is y'all's February going so far? I know that this is the first Wednesday of February, I think. I hope it is going well for you and you are thriving and doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing within this year of 2024. I know January flew by. All right. So if you're new, this is our weekly live training. We have an episode every week at 4 p.m. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that is near and dear to my heart because I'm all about this. Like, I don't even have my notes. I'm just going to speak from my experiences, my beliefs, and impart into you what it looks like to go from a corporate employee, essentially dependent upon fully that check every 2 weeks and turning yourself into an expert that can have more than one opportunity to pursue and therefore can show up in a different level of power. This is the level that I pray each of you can get to because when you're in this space, and what we'll walk throughout this whole conversation is owning this power, owning your gift, owning your skill set allows you to essentially market it and sell it to whoever you would like to. So, I know a lot of times people may cringe against sales or they feel like sales is not for them. Everyone is a salesperson, whether you're in business as an entrepreneur or CEO, even if you're a corporate employee, you are a salesperson. You are positioning yourself. You essentially marketed or promoted yourself to get the role that you're in and every promotion that you've had after that. So you got a little bit of sales skills. If you got some success, sales has been a part of that, whether that's been your skill set or an actual product or service, right? I want to help more of you own that and step into that place of power where today, if things aren't working in your favor or this is no longer serving you, you don't feel that you have to stay in what I call a labor in the wrong garden, or stay in a place that is essentially draining you and no longer lighting you up. That's more of my phrase. So let's get into it for today. I want to do a quick introduction. If you are new on this page or channel, wherever you're watching this, my name is Kirsten Allen. I am your career pivot strategist. Essentially, that means I help successful professionals take the expertise that they already have attained over the years and turn that into a brand new career path. So, what could that look like practically? That could look like principals who work their way up and now they decide that, hey, they want to take this experience that they've had in the school setting and turn it into a consulting business or turn it into an instructional design career within a company. These are ways that I help people to translate what they're currently doing and how does that create a smooth line into opportunities of where they could be next that are fulfilling and help them to really hone into their true passion and their skill sets. So that's what I do. In these trainings, I talk through different topics about exactly how you can move in that space. So today, we're going to do an overview of this corporate employee side into experts. So let's just jump right in because I know we're ready to get into it. I saw someone pop in. If you are here, leave a comment. Let me know you're here. If you're checking me out on the replay, you know what to do. Hashtag replay so that I can come back and shout you out. Okay, so let's talk about where we are typically conditioned in the world that we're in today. Normally, we go through the same process: go to school, get a job, work that job till retirement, and then you get to enjoy your life. The issue with that is most times, once people get to that space of retiring, and obviously I'm not there, but just in speaking to people who have gotten there, they're bored. They want to go back to work. My dad is a great example of this. He got to his retirement in his late or mid 60s and then decided, hey, I'm bored, I want to go back and pick up some part-time work, right? You get into this muscle for 30, 40, 50 years of working every day. Of course, when you get to your retirement, you're not going to be sitting back on the beach. You're going to want to stay in that same motion of working and working and working. That, what do we want to call it? That thinking or that process is not counterproductive to us actually building a life of harmony, actually having the opportunity to work, but also play, and making that a part of our overall day to day and not just when we go on vacation. But how can we find the balance between work and play, even in our daily lives, being just regular? And so, That's where we're starting from. We're trying to break down those walls, that societal norm of going through this process and waiting to end of life. What I feel that my purpose and my calling is to guide people along that path of understanding you can have this today. You do not have to wait until 50 years from now to enjoy your life, to go after the things that you want to pursue in your career. So, let's kind of break this down into steps now that we kind of understand where we are and where we're looking to get to. The first part of this, and I shared this in a post earlier this week, definitely go and check it out for more details. But the first thing that you want to do as you are looking to own your expertise and go into becoming now an expert and a partner, I mentioned this in the comments of this post, you want to be a partner, right, with these organizations, not just dependent, not just up to what they tell you to do, how they tell you to do it, and where they tell you to do it, right? And you feel like I can't go against that because then I'm jeopardizing my lifestyle. When you are in partnership with an organization and you're representing yourself as the CEO of insert your name here, then you're looking for the best opportunity not only to bring value to them, but to bring value to yourself. And what I want to impress upon you most importantly is that just because it's a paycheck does not mean that it is the true amount or the benefit to you as the person bringing your expertise to the table. There are so many other things that need to support you along with that paycheck as well. And that's what you need to be advocating for. So, number one is changing your perspective, making sure that you understand you are the expert, you're bringing the gifts. Yes, they can hire someone else, but they can't hire another you. And I want to talk about a story that to tie this in that I heard earlier today or earlier this week from someone that I spoke with about how replaceable we are in these opportunities. Oftentimes we hear this story of, if you something happens to you today, they'll replace you by the end of the week. I spoke with someone earlier about their experience going through some challenging health scares and all these different things going on and not taking care of herself physically and mentally. And it got to a point where her boss shared with her, like, you really need to take care of yourself. And kudos to the boss, because most will just let you work yourself into the ground and not even try to help you. But her boss says, you need to take care of yourself because if anything was to happen to you, your job would be filled by the end of this week. Now, I have heard that, being in conversation and people thinking that, but to actually hear a leader say that to someone on their team and just being the secondary person to hear the story, that really woke me up. Because one is true, two, they're aware of it. You need to make sure you're aware of it as well. Companies, we can't blame them. They operate based on the bottom line, and leaders are given the responsibility of making sure that their talent is producing at the level that the company expects, right? So they're doing their job. We can't blame the structure and the system and let that keep us downtrodden. Instead, we have to step in and say, okay, I need to make sure I'm taken care of, not only from a physically and mental perspective, from a financial perspective, and I need to make sure that I'm constantly cultivating my goals to be successful to what I'm called to do. And it may not always be here, right? I think a lot of times we get locked into these company cultures and, we're like a family here and all of that. And we think we cannot create that somewhere else. So this is a part of expanding the mindset and expanding the capacity for you to receive something that may be even greater than where you are today. So opening up that mindset. Second piece is going to be creating a map for yourself. Now, hopefully you're already doing this, but I know in most jobs they have mid-year performance, end-of-year performance reviews. And during that time, typically leaders should be talking to you about how you want to navigate your career next. And, there may be even job ladders or specific paths for you in your career and how you should go. It's easy to fall into the trap of saying, okay, they say I should go from this step to this step to this step, or this is what they're projecting for me to do. But if that's not aligned with your overall vision, so your overall vision shouldn't just be to, like I was when I first started out in my career, I was like, hey, I'm going to be the North American president of this organization. This is what I'm going to work my way up here and I'm going to be like this, right? that's very limited because it's all encompassed with me at this particular company. The problem with that is that isn't my goal. That's my goal there. What is my overall vision? What am I called to do? What am I supposed to be doing in the earth? How can I make the impact that I desire and know I have within me? That's a larger goal. And my job is just a piece of me getting there. Right. So when you're thinking about your vision and you know what you have for your life, so say you're really into nonprofit space, you want to be able to impact the youth. Yes, you can take on a job where you're directly doing that, but maybe that's not necessarily where you are right now. Maybe you're somewhere where you have mentorship opportunities that you can do with young children or whatever the case may be, right? You may not necessarily be in that specific role, but it's a part of the vision. So rather than creating your job goals, your next step goals based on what it makes sense for in this particular company, think about what's the big overarching thing that you want to do. And that will help you not only choose different opportunities and roles, but it'll also help you say no to certain things. And I'll say this from experience because I was in a sales position. I talk a lot about this on this channel. This was my first job. I worked my way up many different ladders before I left. And one of the main things that I was so kind of stuck on is all right, I'm going from, inside to senior to field to manager, right? Issue was I had no desire to be traveling constantly once I had my son. I had no desire to, be constantly on calls all day during work, sitting at my desk, never being able to get up. But for whatever reason, I saw that success and said, this is the path that I need to climb up. Now, the dangerous part of doing that is climbing up that path and getting to the top and still not being fulfilled is an easy way to come crashing down real fast, right? So we want to make sure that in every step we're doing, we're always looking at what is truly aligned for us and not letting ourselves get sucked back in. And I talked about being able to choose different opportunities based on that. So as things come up, opportunities for stretch projects. We talked about in the comments of another post, volunteering for different activities and all these things. If you're visionless or if you're on their path and not yours, every time something comes up, you're going to be raising your hand to do it. You're going to be saying, yeah, me, 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 me. And then before you know it, your plate is full of stuff that doesn't even matter to you, that doesn't even help you to get to what you truly want. It's helping you move up their path. And again, that is the quickest way to destruction. So when you're in this place of understanding, then you can decide maybe this place where I am today is not helping me get to my goal. Maybe it's hindering me. Maybe it's keeping me stagnant. I'm wondering why I'm not enjoying my days or why certain things are frustrating me. They're asking me for this or they're clocking me here. And you keep having these frustrations and you're not understanding where it's coming from. It is ultimately you not understanding what it is that you want and going after that. Okay. So far we've gone through breaking down the mindset pieces and understanding that your ladder may not look like the ladder that's there for you. Then we talked about making decisions based on that vision, based on that skill set, and sometimes making those hard no's. Even though it may seem like this should be a yes for you, sometimes it means saying no. Okay. And the third piece that I want to share with you today is after you've taking these steps to understand what that looks like for you, then you want to change up your actions. You want to make sure that as you are moving forward, you're always you have a system for how you address these type of situations at work, as you're looking to pivot your career, as you're looking to expand in different areas. You want to have this sense of ownership and you want to act from that place at all times. So let's talk about this practically and how I've done this for myself. So little bit into my pivot story. If you haven't already heard it, I'll definitely point you to another video where I talk about that specifically. But basically, when I had my son in 2020, I decided that the job that I currently held was going back into the office soon, going back to travel soon. I had a traveling job twice a month, and I realized that that wasn't going to be a good fit for me as a mom. Never thought that that would be the case, obviously, until I had my son and figured that out. Now, in terms of how I began to act, number one, mindset, understanding, all right, I need to find something else, owning my skill set, but then deciding, yes, I want to pivot my career, but I also want to start my business. Why? Because there's a twofold. It was pivot my career to get into something that can help me have a basis as I'm getting into the groove of being a new mom, but ultimately, my business is where my passion, my purpose lies. And that is what I ultimately want to pursue. So now I'm not just making actions based on what's the next job that I can get, right? I needed to know what's the next job that I can get that is still in line with my passion and what I want to do, that is also flexible for me as a mom with a son at home that I plan on keeping home with me. And that can also not burn me out to where when I'm off, I'm not able to work and grow my business. So you see how when you make decisions from that area, you become more powerful. You're the expert, you're the CEO of your own career. You're making decisions, even as an internal employee, that take into account what is the impact to the whole situation, not just how can I get more money, or I heard tech is booming over here, so I need to jump on tech. I hear this so often. And though I'm a person in tech, so I'm in the industry, I know how good it is. But one thing that I don't ever encourage anyone to do, and I want to make sure that you understand this as well, don't just go into an area because you hear it's good or you think it's going to be good money. Make strategic decisions and actions that actually align with what it is that you're looking to do in your particular field, in your life, in your vision. That will always bring you the most abundance. I know that for a fact. I've seen it for myself, and I've seen the effects of staying or choosing based on factors that really have no weight. An industry being good right now is not a reason to move into it. Because everyone else is doing it is not a good reason to get into it. What is the thing that will truly light you up every day? Right now, it doesn't have to be like for the rest of your life. I think that's another mistake that often people think as well. Is like there's one dream career. There's not one dream career. There are multiples along the way. Like I said, my dream career before being a mom was totally different than what it was after I had my son. Does that mean it's any better or worse? No, it just means that as life evolves, the dream evolves. So allow that to happen for you, but focus on right now. What is that dream that you are just on over the moon about, maybe even a little fearful about, and you're not sure how it's all going to work, but you're like, this is my thing. This is it. Like, this is it. Nobody can talk me off of this. And even if I try to deny myself this particular vision that I have in my life, this pivot that I want to make, it always keeps pulling me back. I can speak to that so well. The vision always pulls you back. No matter how many times you may get knocked down or how many times you may feel like it's hard, you can't figure things out, it pulls you back and it says, come on, let's go. So that is the blueprint of how you go from this place of just going into work, putting in your time clock, or if you're salary, opening up your laptop and doing all the things, going home, doing it all over again, and being at that mercy. And once you're in this expert phase, here's a little bonus. You also can start to look at other streams and ways that you can diversify your income. Another crushing reality that most people experience, especially as a corporate employee, is that your check is your only that's your source, right? That's your only source in order to live the life that you desire to live. That hurts my heart because that means it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to deviate and for you to look at what other opportunities could be your passion, because now you're saying, hey, this is my livelihood, right? And I think most of us, again, are brainwashed or conditioned to think that way. And what I want to challenge you as you're moving into this expert phase is think about how you can now diversify. How can you be sure that as you are doing work, whatever that looks like for you, that you have many different ways in order to monetize your skills? So whether that is doing consulting work on the side, like one of my clients, Arba, She is currently employed at an organization and, has done all the right things, which I want to implore you all to do all the right things to make sure you're in alignment with your organization. But she has taken her skills that she's developed and now positioning it for a brand new audience to create a stream of income for herself that's using what she has done every day in her career. So, how can you begin to think beyond those lenses, even if it's not consulting? Maybe it is, doing some real estate stuff, doing some investing, whatever that may be for you to make yourself uh, more of a four leg table instead of a one leg table. That way, when opportunity arises for you to jump into your passion and do what you're called to do, money isn't holding you back. Money isn't the thing that makes you say, I can't do this right now. Take that off the table. Make that a non negotiable. Make that something that's like, oh, yeah, like I definitely can do this because I can move this over here and I can do this over here and I can make it all work. That's where you want to be. Okay. I'm off my soapbox. I hope that you all have been able to take away what this truly looks like for you in a practical sense and essentially shifting your belief around what it looks like to be a corporate employee versus what it looks like to be a CEO of yourself and marketing and positioning and partnering your skills with these organizations and not just limiting yourself to a ladder in that lens, but what is your ladder where if I need to move and shift over here, I can do it and nothing else is disruptive. Okay, so if something stood out to you in here, I definitely want to check you out in the comments. Leave a comment below and let's have further the conversation. Let's keep talking about this. Share this video on your timeline or with people in your network who you know need to hear this type of conversation. And let's keep it going until we're back next week with a new topic. If you're watching this and you're like, yes, like I really want to do more of this. I don't just want to talk about it, I want to be about it, but I know I need support in getting there. I would love to have a conversation with you about what I can do to support you along that journey, how I can pour into you the things that my clients have been able to accomplish who are entrepreneurs or corporate employees that are looking to expand their skills into different areas. And even myself, I told you a little bit about my story and what I've done to pivot my career. And I would love to impart that onto you and help you get along that track as well. If you're interested, there is a link in this video that says apply to work with me. It's kirstenjallen.com/WWK. But if you don't remember that, it is in the comments below. Click that link and let's have a conversation. Once you do that, you'll be taken to an application where I'll ask you a few questions about what it is that you do and get a true understanding of I can help you in order to make the pivot that you're looking to do. And then we'll jump on the call and just talk about it. And if there's an opportunity for us to work together in one of my programs, I will share that with you and invite you to take the next step. All right, so catch me next week. If you want to get on the VIP list to make sure you never miss me live, I will have a comment below for you to join the VIP list so you can get notified on that as well. Talk to y'all next week. And until then, start thinking about how you can be that CEO of your career, how you can own your skills, and how you can walk the walk instead of talking the talk. All right, see y'all next week.